What's up, everybody? This is Matt Schofield, and today I'm going to give you 3 things you need to do right now to get you on the road to financial independence. Let's go. Welcome to Buying Back Our Time, where we talk strategy around financial independence. If this is your first time on our channel and you're into that kind of thing, please go down below and hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get alerted every time we put out a new video. And just so you know why I made this video, these 3 things were things that actually piece together financial independence for me. They're things that help me truthfully understand and clearly understand what I needed to do, how I needed to do it, and when I was going to be able to achieve financial independence. Let's jump right into the first one. All right, so step number 1 is actually just a very easy question. Why is financial independence important to you? And the reason why I feel like this question is so crucial is because you're going to go down the road and have to make decisions that are different than what you're used to making today. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you might usually go out for drinks on a Friday night, but instead, do you really want to spend that money, or are you going to stick to your budget and stick to your investing plan? Additionally, you might buy a new purse or buy some new shoes, but those decisions are going to have to be much different now because you have a plan to achieve financial independence. And if you can answer this question on why you want to achieve financial independence, those decisions are going to be a lot easier. So I'll just hit on a couple things that help me stay focused on achieving financial independence. First one's family, and I assume a lot of us can relate in that sense. I have a 17-month-old daughter and a wife, and I want to spend as much time with them as I can, and being financially free gives me the opportunity to do that. The second thing is that I don't want to be tied down. I currently love what I do for work, but if I decided that I wanted to do something else, I want to have that flexibility because I like to do what I like to do. And if I decided I want to make YouTube content, or I used to stream poker, or if I want to be an artist, want to be a musician, which I'm not good at either of those things, so that probably won't happen. But whatever I decide to do, I want to have the ability to do that, and financial independence gives me the means to be able to do those things. So make sure you answer this question because it's going to allow you to stay focused on your journey to financial independence. So let's jump right into the second thing you need to be doing to help you achieve financial independence. That second thing is creating a budget, or what I like to say is gives me the chance to see how much money I can spend on buying back my time in the future. So budgeting, I know, is not the sexiest thing that you're going to do. However, it is a crucial piece to achieving financial independence. What I would say is that if you go through and actually look at your spending, you would probably be really surprised. So here's what I'll tell you. I did that. I went ahead and went through and said, yeah, I generally know how much money I'm spending. I know how much my mortgage is, my phone bill is, and all of that kind of stuff. When I put all of that down on paper and looked at my income, my expenses, and how much money I had left over, I was shocked at how much money I had left over and that I could not account for where it was going. And so this is really a great exercise for you to see how much money do you make, how much money are the necessities that you need to spend monthly, and how much money is left over. And that gives you the chance to figure out how much money you can put away to buy back your time in the future. So there are tons of ways that you can do your budget. There's budgeting software, but the way that I do it is I just found a template on Microsoft Excel, and I use that. However, there are plenty of other options if you don't have Excel, where you could use Google Sheets or anything like that to go through and do your budget. But what I want to do today is pull up a mock budget that I made. It's not budget based off of my income or my expenses, but show you how to walk through the process and how I was able to budget my money and figure out exactly how much money I could save. So here's the budget template that I use that helped me align my monthly income, my monthly expenses, and my monthly savings. And I'll walk you through each tab so you can kind of see how all of it works. So this page was just a summary page. It showed me how much is my total monthly income, my total monthly expenses, my total monthly savings, and how much money after all said and done was left over. I did this based off of a $50,000 a year individual who had 25% taken out in taxes and also contributed 5% to a 401k. When you do all of that math, it comes down to about $2,917. So that's kind of how I built this out. And it'll make a little bit more sense as I jump into step 3 and use those same numbers. So I'll jump into the monthly income tab. And this tab basically goes over how much money you make. And you can have multiple income sources. It could just be your one income source. And for the sake of this one, I just did the individual income source of $2,917. Pretty easy on this part of the spreadsheet. The third tab down here is the monthly expenses sheet. So again, what I did is I just generated on the left side some general bills that you might pay monthly and some roundabout numbers that they might cost each month. I think these numbers are pretty close, but depending on where you live, they could be very different. But at the end of the day, you can figure out exactly what I'm trying to do. It has anything from rent and cell phones to credit card bills to gas and groceries. So there's a lot of different things that you'll be spending your money on. All right, and on the last tab here, it is the monthly savings tab. So this lets you capture any accounts that you have where you're saving money and how much money you're saving every single month. I have Roth IRA, brokerage account, high yield savings, but yours might be different. But at the end, you capture income, expenses, and on this last tab, savings. Now, when all said and done, you go to the summary tab, and it gives you this important number at the bottom. This means that I had $257 left in this mocked up budget after all of my bills and savings were complete. And that's how much money I would be able to spend throughout the month and still accomplish all of my expenses and savings goals that I have today. Here's what I would tell you. You may think that you generally have this down, but what I would tell you is that you would be surprised when you take a look and see how much money you have left over after you go through your expenses and how much money you can really put away and save so that you can invest in the future. So as I had said earlier, I had a lot of money after I went through my budgeting that I couldn't really account for. But I used an application that's called Personal Capital, which really helped me out and helped me understand where that money was being spent. What it does is a ton of things, but some of the stuff that I love most is it takes all of your spending out of the accounts that you link, and it will categorize each purchase that you make into a certain category. So you can understand exactly where you're spending money that is outside of your mortgage or outside of your cell phone bill, the things that you know. You can find out if it's on cups of coffee or different entertainment or going to the movies, and you can actually see how much you spend. And for me, it was eye-opening to see how much I spent on going out to eat. So I will put an affiliate link that I have down below. Cool thing, if you use my link, you will get $20 and I will get $20 for you signing up, as long as you sign up and add on a brokerage account, 401k, or some kind of investment account at the bottom. So please go ahead and use the link down below if you have any interest in using Personal Capital. The last piece I'll hit on about budgeting is that once you see your budget and understand where you're spending, that's when you can start to make different cuts and different decisions to ensure you have as much money left over as possible. I'll be doing a future video around budgeting hacks to talk you through how I went and got my budget down to a much lower amount than where it initially started. All right, so now I will jump into the third and final step that you need to take to continue your journey onto financial independence. The third and final step is, what's your number? All right, I'm kidding. Not your actual number, but I mean, how much money and how much time will it take for you to become financially independent? This one was the biggest thing that I had to see and understand for me to truly believe I could become financially independent. What I want to do is go through to a very basic calculator that I use that helped me understand how much money can I save, how much time will that take me to get to the number that I need to become financially independent, what is that number, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll walk you through a basic calculator today, and I'll be making a future video breaking down all of the calculators that I use to ensure that I have a clear plan to financial independence. All right, so let's hop right into this calculator, and down below in the description, I will put a link to this so that you could use it if you'd like. But this calculator is very basic, but it was easy for me to understand and easy for me to figure out exactly what I need to do to achieve financial independence. So what you do is you put in your current age. It populates with 25 in there already, but whatever your age is, go ahead and pop it in. I put an investment portfolio of $20,000, which you may have more or less than that. So what I had mentioned in the budget section is the $50,000 a year, the 401k, and the 25% in taxes, is because I kind of use that to add yearly contributions. In that budget, you could see that it was about $6,000 a year going into an IRA, since that is the max that you can have it this year. It also had a brokerage account, which ended up being a little over $1,200, and your 5% contribution to your 401k that I'd mentioned, and then a match of 4%, which is what I actually get at my work. So this ended up being just shy of $12,000, but I used it just for the sake of numbers. Next, I put your retirement expenses. after you retire, how much money would you need every single year to be able to live? This allows you to mess with that number. For the sake of numbers, I put 40,000. Expected return, 6%. And I'm going to have a video that talks a little bit more about investment accounts and why I chose that number. The next piece is your withdrawal rate, which I am showing at 4%. If you've ever heard of the rule of 4, you would understand that. And if you haven't, we'll go into more detail in a future video. But at the end of the day, what this does is at the bottom here, it calculates what age you would be able to retire based on these things. And you can mess with the numbers to really know how aggressive you want to get. So based on this, it's saying, hey, in about 29 years from now, this person would be able to retire. So they're 25 now. At age 54, they'd have $1 million, and that would allow them to have $40,000 a year in retirement expenses. So if 30 years or 29 years is too long for you, maybe you find a way to double it and you go to $24,000 invested a year. Now you can go ahead and retire in just about 20 years. This was really cool and really helped me understand how and why and what I need to do to accomplish financial independence. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope these 3 steps towards financial independence were very helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, please leave them below, and I look forward to seeing you in our future videos.